Hello all, this is Kanu Bhutani here, and today we will be seeing some 5 top financial questions for a business analyst in an interview. Let's move on. So the first one is, can you describe a time when you had to communicate a financial analysis to non-financial stakeholders and how you ensured their understanding? Okay, so as a business analyst, I was working in a financial analysis for a company, and I need to present the results to the non-stakeholders, non-financial stakeholders, such as the executive team and the board of directors. So to ensure that the stakeholders understand the the financial analysis of the company, following were the steps that I took to communicate that to the non financial stakeholders. And the first one was understand the audience. Now, as a business analyst, you should understand the audience's level of financial knowledge and their specific interests in the financial analysis. That can include their job responsibilities, their level of financial literacy, or their concerns about the company's financial performance. So, once you understand that, then you have to use the plain language to explain each and every technical jargon, which is very easy to understand in the terms of people who can understand. Then comes the context. It is not only like using the plain language, but you have to put forth the context of the financial analysis that you are trying to explain with the assumptions, the methodologies, and the data sources which you can use in the analysis. Now, for example, if you have to show them that this much was credit and this much was a debit and this savings were this much, but if you make that into a data source and into a charts which can show or the graphs that can be bit meaningful in results. That brings us to next one, visuals. So the tables and charts and the analysis that you can draw and bring the key insights from them. That brings to us in the next key insights. You have to highlight the key insights and explain them what is important, what is required in that. So the recommendations provided by you for the actions to take based on your analysis. Then once you have done your part, then you have to do put on them. You have to encourage them to ask questions, whatever questions they have, and try to clarify their points of confusion if they have any confusion. So, by taking such steps, you can really make possible efforts to make your non financial stakeholders understand what you want to say. The next question is, how have you implemented process improvements in a financial project and what are the outcomes? Now, as a business analyst, I was working in a financial project for a retail company, and they had identified an opportunity to improve the process handling customers' refund. So in the current process, what was happening, it was very slow and it was coming to customer dissatisfaction and it was even error prone. So all this led to the impact on company. So to do the improvements, what was done, the very first thing was to develop the a process map. So, developing the process map was very important, in which the current process of handling the customer refunds was defined, and then identify the bottlenecks and inefficiencies. Then, the cause of RCA. The conduct of RCA, basically, you have to conduct the root cause analysis of inefficiency, uh, no automation, poor communication, and unclear procedures and policies which are there. All that you have to make sure that you bring forth. Based on these RCAs conducted, you can develop your solution that you feel that it will be a very good solution which will improve all the RCAs that you have identified, and the process maps you have identified. Then you have to implement that plan. Of course, it is a very long process, because you have to talk to your IT team and explain them what changes are to be done, and then you have to create an as is document. You have to create a to be document. You have to create an entire BRD document, the business requirements document, in which you have to enter each and everything that change you need to have, and then you have to bring it to the implementation plan. Once that is done, then you have to do the UAT with the customer. This is very important to conduct the UAT, because it should be approved by the customer, and then only it should get into the production system. So once that is done, then you have to train the end users on that, and then you have to monitor the implementation of your process, how that will be done. And after doing that, you should ensure that some changes that you have brought to your system, the outcome of the system will be increased efficiency, reduced errors, improved customer satisfaction, and reduced costs. The next question is, can you describe a time when you identified an opportunity to streamline financial reporting and how you went about implementing the change? So there was one financial reporting project, and in that I identified some of the things that need to be streamlined in it, by since it was a manual process. So I understood that I need to streamline to the automation process, and it is time consuming and prone to errors. So all that I have to mitigate. So to implement the change, the following things I identified. The very first thing was analyzing the current process. See what is your process. Try to work on that. Keep uh, doing the different scenarios in that, and see that why it is so slow, and what it is time consuming, where it is error prone, where it is manual, and where you can bring the changes. Once you have analyzed it, you have got the opportunity to identify the analysis, and you can find out where exactly you want to implement the new changes, like automation and the technologies that are required based on your previous projects that you have worked. You can implement can you implement those technologies in this? So all that. So once you get that, then you develop a plan and you communicate a plan. You have to develop a plan because okay, you have identified this, but no, you just can't go without a plan. So you have to develop a plan. Okay, this much time it will take for me to create the entire requirements documents. This is the time which will take me to explain to the implementation team. This is the time that will the implementation team will require to implement it and test it and put it in production, all that. And then you have to communicate this plan to all the stakeholders. Then you have to implement the change. Then comes the persons of technology, IT team who will implement it and then uh, do the changes. Final is then you evaluate the outcome, and the outcome will be fantastic because you have reduced the errors, increased the efficiency, improved the compliance, and improved the decision making process. Right? Moving on to next question is how have you managed competing priorities in a financial project and ensure timely delivery of results? So, as a business analyst in financial project, the of a retail company, they were facing the competing priorities such as tight deadlines, limited resources, and stakeholder demands. So, how did I manage that? Was uh, simple. You have to first identify the priorities and understand the impact of each priority. Whenever the priority comes into the picture of your as a business analyst, you have to prioritize it, that which is the first thing, which is the second thing, and which is the third thing you have to implement. But it is not necessary that you have to prioritize it like, okay, this work will be done within 1 day, so I have to this will be the first priority, then this will be work will be done in 2 weeks, so this will be the second. No, it can be that way, but then you have to also analyze other things like uh, um, the uh, budget, how much budget it will take, how much people it will take, how much money it will take. Once you do that, then you have to analyze the trade-offs, the project objectives, the priorities, and then they would also determine the criticality of which things can be delayed and deprioritized. Once that is done, then you develop a plan based on the priorities you have selected, based on the timely delivery of results and risk management. Once you have completed that, then you have to communicate to the stakeholders and monitor the progress because the things that you are changing it, you have to monitor the progress and then maintain the flexibility of the project by preparing to adjust the plan as needed. Okay, these things should be adjusted in the priority. Sometimes the priorities change, sometimes the circumstances change. And then once you do this, then it will be a success, and you can motivate the team and you can maintain the momentum and you can recognize each and every team's achievements and communicate them. So this is the way you can ensure the timely delivery of results. And the fifth question of the day is, can you walk me through a time when you had to deal with a difficult client in a financial project and how you handled the situation? So, as a business analyst, you always will be facing the difficult clients, the priorities, the incooperative clients, and you have to maintain the relations with them. You know, you can't just change your projects at once, or say that, okay, this client is not cooperative and change my project. No, it doesn't happen that way. So then in a financial project where you got a client who is not cooperating, he's not giving the information that you need, he's not giving the feedback that you need, and he's causing the unnecessary delays and impacting your project lines, timelines. How you will manage that, how you will handle that? The first step is why he's doing that thing, the cause, why he's doing this thing. Is it my behavior, or is it the behavior of the client that he lacks the trust in me, the miscommunication, the unclear expectations, or it is simply the difficult client or difficult personality? Once you find this cause, then you communicate effectively. Once you know that, okay, he's having lack of trust in me, so you have to build the trust in him by reading, by creating such documents that are effective to him, that makes him understand and realize that, okay, you are providing a proper information in a very nice manner. Or second, miscommunication, maybe there is a communication gap, so that is the way you can communicate effectively with him. Once that is done, then you start building the trust in the relationship, and then slowly you start demonstrating your expertise, being transparent about the project status, and providing regular updates. Then comes compromise. Then you say, okay, we have to compromise that we work for both the parties. So you are also a working person, I'm also a working person, we are working for a company. So let's come to a conclusion and find the alternative ways of the necessary information. Then comes higher management. If your the client is giving or behaving negatively, then you can involve the higher management. But to see, there is this involving of higher management is so later stage, Before that, you have to find out the cause, you have to communicate, trust, and compromise, all that you have to do. Then comes document. Then you have to document everything. Okay, these can be the references in case of any disputes and issues in future. And once you do that, then what will happen? You can have the improved collaboration, reduced delays, and improved stakeholder satisfaction. Okay, so here we complete all the 5 questions, and I hope this video would be helpful to you all. Uh, so let's talk in next video on another topics. Have a nice day. Bye bye.